Ladies and gentlemen, in the journey of life, we are often faced with events that seem beyond our control. The winds of adversity blow fiercely at times, and we are presented with challenges that test the very core of our being. It is in these moments that we must stand firm and embody the principle, act as nothing affects you. What does it mean to act as if nothing affects you? It does not mean that you are indifferent or detached from the world around you. Rather, it means that you understand the incredible power of your mind to choose your responses to the circumstances you face. In the face of adversity, the individual who has mastered his emotion, whose mind remains calm and clear, is the one who rises above the fray, and mastering your emotions is one of the most critical and empowering aspects of personal growth and success. It is the ability to understand, control, and direct your emotions in a way that aligns with your goals and aspirations. Emotions are powerful forces, but when left unchecked, they can drive us to make impulsive decisions, react in ways that are detrimental to our success, or cloud our judgment. On the other hand, when you have command over your emotional responses, you gain the ability to steer your life with clarity, purpose, and resolve. At the core of mastering your emotions lies self-awareness. You must first acknowledge that emotions are a natural part of being human. Anger, frustration, sadness, and joy are all part of the human experience, but they do not define you. Rather, they are signals, indicators that help you understand how you perceive and react to the world around you. To master your emotions, you must first become aware of how you feel in any given moment. This awareness allows you to step back from the immediate reaction and observe your emotional state without judgment. It gives you the opportunity to decide how to respond instead of simply chemically reacting. The next step in mastering your emotions is recognizing that you have the power to choose your response. Emotions can be intense, and in many situations, it might seem as though you are being swept away by them. However, you must remind yourself that while you cannot always control the external circumstances that trigger emotions, you do have control over how you react. For example, in the face of criticism, you might feel hurt, defensive, or angry. But instead of reacting immediately, you can choose to pause, reflect, and respond with composure and rational thought. This ability to pause and choose your response is the hallmark of emotional mastery. Another key component of mastering your emotions is emotional regulation. This involves understanding the underlying causes of your emotions and finding healthy ways to process and manage them. For example, if you feel anger rising in response to a stressful situation, rather than allowing that anger to take control, you can engage in techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, or journaling to process your feelings in a constructive manner. Emotional regulation doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but rather channeling them in a way that serves your well-being and goals. This level of self-regulation allows you to remain calm under pressure and avoid making rash decisions that could undermine your progress. In addition to emotional regulation, building emotional resilience is essential for long-term success. Emotional resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks and remain strong in the face of adversity. It is the ability to maintain a positive and optimistic outlook, even in challenging circumstances. Life will undoubtedly present obstacles, and you will experience moments of disappointment, frustration, and doubt. However, those who have mastered their emotions can bounce back quickly from setbacks. They recognize that these moments are temporary, and that their emotional state does not define their future. Instead of wallowing in negative emotions, they take constructive action to move forward, learning and growing from each experience. Furthermore, mastering your emotions requires emotional intelligence, an understanding of both your own emotions and the emotions of others. Emotional intelligence helps you navigate interpersonal relationships, resolve conflicts, and communicate more effectively. It involves empathy, the ability to listen deeply to others, and the awareness of how your emotions impact those around you. By cultivating emotional intelligence, you not only enhance your own emotional well-being, but you also create stronger, more harmonious relationships in both your personal and professional life. Ultimately, mastering your emotions is about empowering yourself to remain in control of your life. It is about recognizing that while emotions are powerful, they do not have to govern your actions. When you take responsibility for your emotional responses, you position yourself to make better decisions, build resilience, and create a life that reflects your true potential. Mental fortitude is the cornerstone of success and personal growth. It is the strength of mind that enables an individual to remain focused, resilient, and unwavering in the face of challenges and adversity. In a world where obstacles are inevitable, mental fortitude is what separates those who give up from those who push through and achieve greatness. It is the ability to stay calm and composed under pressure, to keep moving forward when faced with setbacks, and to consistently maintain a positive, determined mindset. At its core, mental fortitude is about resilience, the ability to bounce back after hardship, failure, or disappointment. Life is unpredictable, and no one is exempt from facing difficulties. However, those who possess mental fortitude understand that setbacks are not the end of the road, but rather a part of the journey. They view challenges as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Instead of succumbing to self-doubt or despair when faced with adversity, they rise above it, finding ways to adapt and persevere. The first step in developing mental fortitude is to cultivate a mindset of perseverance. This involves setting your sights on a long-term vision or goal and being willing to commit to it no matter how difficult the path may become. Perseverance requires patience, self-discipline, and a steadfast belief in your abilities. When the road gets tough, it is easy to abandon your plans or to settle for mediocrity. But those with mental fortitude refuse to let obstacles deter them from their course. They understand that true success requires sustained effort, and they push forward even when the going gets tough. Mental fortitude also involves emotional control. In difficult situations, it is natural to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or frustrated. However, those with mental strength are able to manage their emotions and keep them from dictating their actions. They understand that emotions, while valid, are often temporary, and they don't allow their emotional states to cloud their judgment or hinder their progress. By remaining calm and composed, they can make decisions based on logic and clarity rather than being driven by fear or impulsive reactions. Another key element of mental fortitude is the ability to stay focused on the present moment. Easy to become distracted by worries about the future or to dwell on past mistakes. The true mental strength lies in the ability to focus solely on what is within your control right now. By directing your energy toward the present moment, you conserve your mental resources and avoid being paralyzed by indecision or regret. This ability to concentrate on the task at hand allows you to make steady progress, even when the bigger picture may seem overwhelming. Mental fortitude is also closely tied to self-belief. Those with strong mental resilience have an unshakable confidence in their ability to overcome challenges. They trust in their skills, knowledge, and inner strength to navigate whatever life throws their way. This self-belief does not stem from arrogance, but from an understanding of their own capabilities and a history of overcoming obstacles. When faced with difficult situations, they draw on this inner confidence to stay focused and press forward, even when the outcome is uncertain. Lastly, mental fortitude involves the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Life rarely goes according to plan, and the most successful individuals are those who are able to pivot when necessary, without losing sight of their overall vision. Flexibility is an essential component of mental strength because it allows you to adjust your approach without losing momentum. Being able to adjust your strategies and plans in response to changing circumstances is a hallmark of resilience and is critical to long-term success. In essence, mental fortitude is not a trait that is either present or absent. It is a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time. It requires intentional effort, a commitment to personal growth, and the willingness to embrace challenges. By cultivating mental strength, you empower yourself to face any difficulty with determination, confidence, and clarity, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the inner fortitude to overcome it. Self-confidence is the belief in one's abilities, judgment, and potential. It is the inner assurance that despite challenges and setbacks, you can achieve your goals and handle whatever comes your way. Confidence is not just about being able to perform well in a specific task, but rather it encompasses the belief that you are capable of overcoming obstacles and navigating life's complexities. It is the foundation upon which all personal and professional success is built. Without self-confidence, you are more likely to doubt your decisions, hesitate in moments of opportunity, and give up too easily when facing adversity. The development of self-confidence begins with self-awareness. To truly believe in yourself, you first need to know who you are, what you stand for, and what you are capable of achieving. Self-awareness allows you to acknowledge your strengths and weaknesses, which is essential for personal growth. By understanding your natural abilities and limitations, however, self-confidence does not arise solely from an understanding of your strengths. It is also deeply rooted in self-acceptance, the ability to embrace your imperfections and acknowledge that no one is flawless. Self-acceptance involves letting go of the unrealistic expectation of perfection and learning to be comfortable with who you are. Those who lack self-confidence often struggle with self-criticism, constantly focusing on their perceived flaws or mistakes. In contrast, individuals with high self-confidence accept their imperfections and use them as learning experiences rather than sources of shame. By accepting both your strengths and weaknesses, you develop a balanced and realistic self-view that fosters true confidence. Another crucial component of self-confidence is the ability to take action. Confidence is built through experience and success, but those experiences cannot occur without first taking the initiative. Action is the key to growth. It's not enough to sit back and wait for opportunities to come to you. You must actively seek them and take steps towards your goals. Every time you take action, whether you succeed or fail, you gain valuable insight and experience that builds your confidence. By proving to yourself that you are capable of handling situations and challenges, you reinforce your belief in your own abilities. Even small steps forward can have a tremendous impact on your self-assurance. The role of positive thinking cannot be understated when it comes to building self-confidence. The way you perceive yourself and your abilities is heavily influenced by the thoughts you allow to occupy your mind. If you consistently focus on your limitations, mistakes, and failures, you are likely to erode your confidence. In contrast, when you choose to focus on your strengths, past successes, and potential for growth, you begin to shift your mindset towards one of self-assurance. Positive thinking is not about denying reality, but about reframing your perspective in a way that empowers you rather than holding you back. It's about believing that, regardless of current challenges, you have the ability to find solutions and move forward. Furthermore, setting and achieving small goals is a powerful way to boost self-confidence. Every accomplishment, no matter how small, serves as proof that you are capable and competent. These small victories accumulate over time and create a track record of success that you can draw upon in moments of doubt. As you achieve goals, you build momentum and reinforce your belief that you can handle bigger challenges. This process of setting and achieving goals also teaches you resilience, another key element of self-confidence. When faced with setbacks, instead of giving up, you learn to view them as opportunities to refine your approach and grow stronger. One of the most significant aspects of self-confidence is the ability to trust in your decisions. People who lack confidence often second-guess themselves or rely too heavily on the opinions of others. While seeking advice is valuable, self-confident individuals trust their judgment and intuition. They understand that no one else knows their situation and goals as well as they do. They make decisions based on their values, experience, and reasoning, and they take responsibility for the outcomes. This trust in oneself empowers you to make choices boldly, even when the outcome is uncertain, and to take ownership of both your successes and failures. Lastly, self-confidence is strengthened by surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with can have a profound impact on your belief in yourself. Positive, supportive individuals who encourage and uplift you will help reinforce your confidence, while negative or critical individuals can undermine it. Cultivating a network of people who believe in your potential and who inspire you to reach your goals can significantly boost your self-assurance. Perspective is one of the most powerful tools we have in shaping our lives. It determines how we view the world, ourselves, and the challenges we encounter. Our perspective influences our emotions, actions, and decisions, often without us even realizing it. It shapes the way we respond to setbacks, how we interpret successes, and ultimately, how we navigate life's journey. The power of perspective lies in its ability to transform how we experience our reality. often turning obstacles into opportunities and challenges into stepping stones for growth. One of the key aspects of perspective is the ability to choose how we interpret events. Two people can face the same situation and yet respond in completely different ways based on how they perceive it. For example, consider a person who faces a job loss. One individual might view it as a devastating setback, a sign of failure, and a reason to lose confidence in their abilities. In contrast, another person might see the same event as a chance for reinvention, an opportunity to explore new career paths, and a chance to realign with their passions and goals. The difference in these reactions lies entirely in perspective. What one person sees as a problem, another sees as a possibility. This ability to reinterpret events in a positive light is essential for personal growth and resilience. A powerful shift in perspective occurs when we recognize that challenges are not obstacles to our success, but rather necessary steps in our journey. Difficulties are often viewed as negative experiences to be avoided or endured. However, when we shift our perspective, we begin to see these challenges as valuable learning experiences. Every obstacle presents an opportunity to develop new skills, gain wisdom, and build resilience. When you change your perspective on challenges, they no longer seem like insurmountable problems. Instead, they become opportunities for growth. This shift in mindset helps us remain positive and motivated, even when faced with adversity. Perspective also plays a critical role in our emotional well-being. Our emotions are deeply tied to how we perceive a situation. If we interpret a setback as a failure or a personal shortcoming, we are likely to feel discouraged, frustrated, or defeated. However, when we choose to view that same setback as a temporary challenge, an unavoidable part of life that is meant to teach us something, we can approach it with a sense of curiosity and resilience. The ability to distance ourselves emotionally from the immediate reaction and instead assess the situation with a calm and rational mindset allows us to maintain balance and composure, no matter the circumstance. Another way perspective shapes our lives is in the way we relate to others. The way we see other people, whether we view them as allies, competitors, or threats, greatly impacts our relationships and interactions. If we choose to see others with empathy, understanding, and a sense of cooperation, our relationships tend to be more harmonious and fulfilling. On the other hand, if we perceive others as obstacles or sources of frustration, we may create conflict and tension. By shifting our perspective to one of openness and understanding, we improve our relationships and increase the likelihood of positive outcomes in our interactions with others. Perspective is also a key factor in how we set and achieve goals. If we see our goals as distant, unattainable dreams, we may feel overwhelmed or discouraged. However, when we break down our goals into smaller, manageable steps and view them as milestones on a long-term journey, they become more achievable and motivating. By adjusting our perspective on the path to success, we can see setbacks as temporary detours rather than permanent roadblocks. This mindset allows us to stay focused and committed, even when the road ahead seems challenging. The ability to change our perspective is not something that happens overnight. It requires practice and a conscious effort to shift the way we think. However, by learning to see situations through a different lens, we unlock new possibilities, discover hidden strengths, and approach life with a renewed sense of purpose and resilience. The power of perspective lies in its ability to transform our experience of the world, turning even the most difficult circumstances into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Resilience is the ability to adapt, bounce back, and grow stronger in the face of adversity. It is the mental and emotional toughness that enables individuals to weather life's storms and remain steadfast, even when confronted with overwhelming challenges. Adversity is an inevitable part of life, whether it comes in the form of personal loss, failure, disappointment, or unexpected setbacks. However, resilience allows us not just to endure these trials, but to emerge from them stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling whatever comes next. The foundation of resilience lies in a person's mindset. It is the belief that, no matter the obstacle, it is possible to recover and continue moving forward. People with a resilient mindset do not view difficulties as insurmountable walls, but as hurdles to be overcome. This belief doesn't mean that adversity won't hurt or cause distress, but rather that it is not the end. It is the understanding that every challenge contains within it the potential for growth and transformation. Resilient individuals embrace the idea that setbacks are temporary and that they have the power to take control of their response to circumstances, regardless of how harsh or difficult they may seem. One of the most important elements of resilience is emotional regulation. When faced with adversity, it is easy to succumb to emotions such as fear, anger, or despair. These emotions can cloud our judgment, limit our options, and prevent us from finding solutions to the challenges at hand. Resilient individuals, however, are able to manage their emotions effectively. They recognize their feelings but do not allow them to dictate their actions. Instead of letting fear paralyze them or anger cause rash decisions, they take a step back, assess the situation, and approach it with clarity and calm. This emotional control provides the foundation for rational thinking, which is essential when navigating adversity. Another important aspect of resilience is the ability to maintain hope and optimism, even in the darkest times. Hope is a powerful force that can keep us moving forward, even when the path ahead seems unclear. It is the belief that things will get better, that a solution exists, and that we have the strength to find it. People who are resilient are not immune to feelings of doubt or despair, but they do not let those feelings define their journey. Instead, they focus on the possibility of a better future and take practical steps to move toward it. Resilience is fueled by the unwavering belief that no matter how difficult the present moment is, it is not permanent, and change is always possible. Resilience also involves learning from adversity. Every setback or failure carries valuable lessons, and resilient individuals are quick to identify those lessons and apply them moving forward. Instead of viewing mistakes as signs of personal inadequacy, they see them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. This learning mindset allows them to constantly adapt, refine their strategies, and develop new skills. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to build a stronger foundation for future success. The ability to reflect on setbacks, analyze what went wrong, and make the necessary adjustments is a hallmark of resilient individuals. Furthermore, resilience is often bolstered by a strong support system. While resilience is an internal strength, it is also shaped by the people around us. Yet, having a network of supportive friends, family, or colleagues can provide emotional support, encouragement, and practical assistance during tough times. Resilient individuals know when to seek help and are not afraid to lean on others. They understand that while they must ultimately take responsibility for their own growth, they do not have to face every challenge alone. The presence of supportive individuals who offer a sense of community and belonging can help bolster resilience, especially when times are particularly difficult. Resilience is built through practice. Just as physical strength is developed through regular exercise, resilience grows stronger with each challenge faced and overcome. The more adversity a person encounters and learns to navigate, the more resilient they become. Every trial faced is an opportunity to build mental and emotional strength. As we continue to push through difficulties, we develop a deeper sense of confidence in our ability to persevere. Over time, this resilience becomes a core aspect of our character, allowing us to face future challenges with greater ease and assurance. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship, but about learning how to rise above it. It is the capacity to not only endure adversity, but to transform it into a stepping stone toward greater personal growth and achievement. And life challenges are inevitable, but with resilience, they need not be the end of our story. Instead, they can become the catalyst for our greatest triumphs. The law of cause and effect is a universal principle that states that every action has a corresponding reaction. It is a fundamental law that governs not only the physical world, but also our thoughts, behaviors, and the outcomes we experience in life. Every cause produces an effect, and every effect can be traced back to its original cause. This law operates consistently, regardless of whether we are aware of it or not. And it is through understanding and applying this law that we can begin to shape our lives with intentionality. At its core, the law of cause and effect suggests that everything in life is connected. The actions we take today, whether positive or negative, will influence the experiences we have in the future. This means that the choices we make, the habits we form, and the energy we put into our actions all contribute to the outcomes we face. If we sow seeds of kindness, hard work, and integrity, the effects we experience will reflect those qualities. Conversely, if we engage in negative behaviors or fail to take responsibility for our actions, we can expect the consequences to be similarly unfavorable. One of the key aspects of the law of cause and effect is that it emphasizes personal responsibility. We are the architects of our own experiences, and the results we see in our lives are a direct reflection of the choices we make. This can be empowering as it places control in our hands, allowing us to take charge of our destiny. Understanding this law helps us realize that we are not at the mercy of random events or external circumstances. Instead, we are active participants in the creation of our future. By taking deliberate actions that align with our goals and values, we can ensure that the effects we experience will be the ones we desire. The law of cause and effect also teaches us the importance of patience and persistence. Causes do not always yield immediate effect, and the results of our actions may not be instantly apparent. However, this does not mean that the law is not at work. Just as planting a seed does not result in an immediate harvest, our efforts may take time to bear fruit. It requires faith and perseverance to stay committed to positive actions, even when we do not see immediate results. By trusting that every cause will eventually produce an effect, we are able to maintain focus and motivation, knowing that our actions will lead to the desired outcomes in due time. Another important aspect of this law is the understanding that the effects we experience are not always directly tied to the specific cause we expect. The ripple effect of our actions can extend far beyond our initial intention, impacting others in ways we might not anticipate. A simple act of kindness may inspire someone else to pass it on, creating a chain reaction of goodwill. Similarly, a seemingly small negative action can have far-reaching consequences that we may not immediately recognize. This understanding reminds us of the power and responsibility that comes with every decision and every action. The law of cause and effect also underscores the importance of mindset. Our thoughts are the starting point for many of our actions. The mindset we cultivate influences the way we respond to challenges, the opportunities we seek, and the relationships we build. A positive, growth-oriented mindset can lead to proactive actions that create a chain of positive effects in our lives. In contrast, a negative or limiting mindset can result in actions that reinforce feelings of frustration, fear, and inadequacy. By consciously choosing to cultivate a mindset of possibility, optimism, and resilience, we can ensure that the causes we set into motion lead to empowering and constructive effects. Finally, the law of cause and effect can help guide us in making better decisions. By recognizing that every action carries a consequence, we can make more thoughtful and deliberate choices. Whether it's how we manage our time, how we communicate with others, or how we approach challenges, we can use the law as a guide to ensure that the causes we create are aligned with our long-term goals. By reflecting on the potential effects of our actions before we take them, we can steer our lives in the direction we want to go. In essence, the law of cause and effect is a powerful reminder that we are not passive observers in our own lives, but active creators. Every choice we make, every thought we entertain, and every action we take sends out ripples into the world that shape our future. By understanding and applying this law, we can live with greater awareness, intentionality, and responsibility, knowing that the causes we create today will ultimately determine the effects we experience tomorrow.